Hi Arun sir, good evening. How are you doing today?
Hi Gaurav, I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, sir. I saw that you were reading a chess book. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I hope you're aware that I'm here to interview today, right?
Sure, I have been waiting for you. In the meantime, I was just reading a great book by Agat. So yeah.
Oh, I see, I see. So, well, like, how many hours do you spend in a day reading a chess book or playing chess?
Well, yeah. So it's usually a busy day. So I end up spending most of my time on chess, either working, preparing materials for the kids, or like teaching them. Yeah, most of my time usually like goes
Mhm.
on in chess. Surely.
So, sir, I just want to thank you for giving us your time. It's really a pleasure having a conversation with you here today. And I just wanted to talk about Chess Olympiad. It's around the corner, and we wanted to have a quick chat with you regarding the Chess Olympiad. And as we all know, since India is going to be the host this time, it's going to be really grand for us. And this is going to be the best opportunity for all our chess players to get some insights on the Chess Olympiad. So, can we have a discussion about Chess Olympiad, sir?
Yeah, definitely. So even I'm very excited to see like how this going to shape up. India is conducting this tournament for the first time, and yeah, it's super exciting to see this happen.
So before we get to the chess Olympiad, I would love for our new audience for them to know who they are talking with, because you are a man who does not need any kind of introduction. But for a new audience, I would request you to introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi everyone. I'm Grandmaster Arun Prasad. Um, I'm a chess grandmaster, and I'm originally from India. I'm currently living in US right now. I'm also the trainer of Youngest Grandmaster Abhimanyu Mishra.
Arun, sir, what are your views about the chess Olympiad this year?
Yeah, in India, we already have a huge chess boom. The tournament of this level is definitely going to make that exponentially even bigger. So,
Mhm.
chess in the past, it never had this kind of attention from the common public. But
Mhm.
from here, it's definitely going to change a lot of things for the Indian chess. It's definitely going to be like
Right.
really, really good for the game.
Yes, yes, 100% for sure. So, Arun sir, as last year India shared the first place with Russia, and we all know what happened. What do you think India's chances are this year?
Well, last time we had an online Olympiad tournament. This time it's going to be in person, but this time I'm sure it's going to be even better because we are hosting three teams, and the team members are just awesome. So, we have like young guns.
Yeah,
They're like spread out in all these three teams. And frankly speaking, I won't be surprised if some of them would become future world champions. So we are hosting such an
oh,
amazing
wow.
team this year. So I'm sure we are going to get medals. So the only question is, are we going to get the gold or not? But I'm sure like we have excellent chances. That's for
Yes,
sure.
yes, yes, and also it's happening in India. So like the emotion, the connectivity with the people around. It's a different thing when you're playing in your own country.
True, very true, very true.
Right. So if I have to ask you, who are your two or three favorite underdogs from the Indian team? Who would you name?
Some of the young players like Nihal Sareen or Pragnananda or Arjun Arigasi, these guys, Gukesh, for example.
Right.
So I don't think it's fair to call them underdogs anymore. So these guys have participated in all the big tournaments now, and they have beaten the best players in the world also. So maybe like a year or two back, yeah, we can call them underdogs. But now, yeah, maybe they are
Right.
not in terms of rating in that level, but in terms of strength, they are all already there. So it's only going to be a matter of time before they catch up in terms of rating also. So yeah, all these players are like excellent.
How do these chess Olympiad players prepare individually on a individual level? What do you think they do?
Um, well, actually, there is a huge difference between regular tournaments and Chess Olympiad.
Hmm.
Okay, so Chess Olympiad is a team event. So as we all know, chess
Right.
is usually an individual game.
Right.
But this Chess Olympiad is a team tournament, and this is a lot different from the other
Yeah.
tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah.
So players who prepare this for this tournament, they have to come together as a team and
Correct. So
plan their
do they
strategy
have like
accordingly.
a ideal routine that they follow during the Olympiad?
Yeah, definitely. So I think every player surely likes to maintain a routine during the tournament. Some people wake up early, some people like to wake up late. They
Hmm.
like to have their lunch, the breakfast at a certain time,
Correct.
and
Correct.
they would like to have a certain routine in general.
So, sir, can you tell me like how what makes Chess Olympiad so special? How is it different from every other tournaments, the world championship, the candidates, everything that happens in the chess community? What makes Chess Olympiad so special?
I think that's an important question. Chess Olympiad is a tournament that's played by almost like 180 countries. So I don't
My
think there is
God.
any other tournament where that will attract this kind of
Traction,
interest,
yeah.
right? So this is just amazing. And one more important thing is, usually we don't get to play in the tournament that players like world champion Carlsen or Anand or Kumura, these kind of players play.
Right, right,
So I
right,
think this
right.
is a tournament where gods of chess come down to play with everyone else. That's the way I see it.
Yes, yes, yes. So I know you already mentioned that in a team tournament, you have to come together and work as a team. Is there like any specific difference between individual tournaments and team tournaments? And I'm talking from like a preparation perspective, like preparation
Yeah,
perspective. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So a team tournament is a lot different because it's like the whole team basically decides the win or the loss. So individually, the players they contribute for the team's points, and
Right.
usually the preparation part is like, okay, so they anticipate their opponent's strategy, like which player they want to play against, or if there is a player they want to avoid playing against. So they certainly make some strategies like that. Some players
Correct.
would do well against certain player, and some players would not do well against certain players. So they usually arrange their team, their strategy that way. Yeah.
100%. No, 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 I get it. So, like, what do you think? How many hours and days of practice do players need to prepare for an Olympiad level event? Because you told me that it's like 180 countries with, at least like 10 players each. So, this sounds like something that will demand a lot of preparation. So, how many hours do you think, how many hours or days they need for to prepare for such an event?
Yeah, certainly. Like usually the Olympiad event or any other top event, right? Like it depends on the players. So some players certainly wish to work on like 8 to 10 hours a day. So I've seen firsthand when Vishwanathan Anand works for almost like 10, 12 hours on a daily basis. And someone like Carlsen, I think in one of the interviews he has mentioned, he usually likes to work somewhere between 5, 6 hours. And after that, he's not able to maintain the same level of attention. So he
Right.
prefers to work between 5, 6 hours. So I
So,
think it usually depends on the players, but yeah.
So these 8 to 10 hours that you mentioned, that Vishy Anand spends preparing for the Olympiad. So how are these 8 to 10 hours divided? Like, do you think it's all of playing chess, preparing, opening ideas? How's it going to be?
It's almost like they are pretty good in all other areas, so they try to keep exploring more ideas in the openings, so trying to find some traps, some ideas that will pose more maximum problems to the next.
That sounds
So
like
top
fun,
level
like
players in
I
general
can,
spend more time.
that sounds so much fun. I can imagine like Vishy Anand, Vidit, Adiban Bhaskaran, all of these guys, and also the young ones. I mean, Pragnananda, Nihal Sareen, and endless names of prodigies. I can imagine they sitting around in a table and coming up with traps and opening ideas. I mean, it sounds, I would pay like $1 million to just be there and observe as a viewer.
Yeah, lucky was there in a few occasions to witness this in person, so yeah, I consider myself lucky that way.
Now I'm more envious of you. So how do these players like since the environment is very competitive and everybody is kind of nervous and stressed, the whole country is looking up to them. They're going to be the representative. How do these players motivate each other during the rounds in the Olympiad? What is the culture? What is the environment in the preparation?
Well, yeah, I think that's an important one too, because as a team, you have to have a rapport. So you all have to be friends. They come down together. They have to help out each other. So in
Mm-hmm.
case someone feels down, you have to motivate that person. So that is all there, especially when you are playing for your country. So in that kind of situation, yeah, certainly we will sometimes feel the pressure. But I think once you know that you have that kind of team and you are in there,
Mm-hmm.
you work hard, like you are you have done your. So it's more like a privilege. You feel happy to do
Mm-hmm.
that more than
Right.
the pressure. So after a point, it
Correct.
feels really good to be there.
Right. So what I'm really curious about is you told me that all of these hours of preparations are going into one day. What I'm really curious about is, let's say all of these players who are representing this country, they are staying in a hotel, and they're preparing all day long, motivating each other. So I'm curious if there is something apart from chess happening, and if there is, what is the most common thing that happens apart from chess during the tournament? So for example, I've seen some videos of chess players like Magnus Carlsen playing football before a very important match. I've seen Pragnananda or like some of the young prodigies playing hide and seek, surprisingly, or some sport like that. So I want to know, is there any other sport that people play? Is there like a like a tradition that everybody plays?
Well, yeah, certainly. During the tournament or right before the tournament, you end up spending a lot of time on chess. It's a board
Mhm.
game. Sit on the board to play the game. So it's like 4 or 5 hours of sitting in one game, right? So
Mhm.
you sure certainly it's nice if you can get out and have some physical activity. So some people like Carlsons, they certainly like
Yeah.
to have a physical sport
Yeah.
to keep
Yeah.
themselves fit during the tournament. And some people certainly like to hit the gym. I still
Mhm.
remember during my experience during the team tournaments, with my teammates, we used to play the table tennis, right?
Oh,
We used to have so much fun doing that. So it's like every time we have a break, the first thing we go and do is playing the table tennis. So just to
right.
take your attention away, so you come back
Mhm.
fresh and you're ready for new ideas, basically.
Definitely,
So
so that
that certainly
you're
helps them.
right. That makes sense. So would you say it is important for every player to play every round in the chess Olympiad?
Necessarily. To be precise, that is why they have an extra player. So it's like a substitute player, right? There is a fifth
Okay.
player who can always fill in the gap in case a player wants to take a rest. This can be based on the strategy of the team. So we want a backup player because he doesn't feel comfortable that day to play against a certain player, or he feels tired, or any other reason, right? So the next player can fill in the gap, and so they can plan accordingly. So
Right.
it's not necessary that players have to play every single game.
Is there anything food specific that players like to eat or avoid during the tournaments? Like, I don't know, like something makes them sleepy, they avoid it, or they like to eat food that is more of energy and proteins. Anything like from a nutritional perspective?
Yeah, certainly. Generally players prefer to have their lunch before the game, a couple of hours before the game. Usually, before the game, it's like not such a meal that keeps you too full or anything. You
Mhm.
eat for half stomach and keep yourself still energetic. That's the way it is. But I know some players who really like to have their proteins in for the dinner, so they
Mhm.
try to keep it that way, not before the game. So usually they try to keep their food
Mhm.
habits as simple as possible before the game. But usually after the game, once you have spent a lot of energy, you have your proteins after you come back.
So, how does one player's contribution affect the team chess Olympiad? Like, like everybody comes up with their own pens and ideas. What do you have to say about that?
That's an important one because there are four games that's happening in a match. So let's say there is a game between India and in USA, for example, right? So there'll be four
Okay.
boards, players playing against four players, and usually 2.5 points. So every win carries 1 point, and every draw is half a
Oh,
point. And so the 2.5 as a team is what you are expected to score minimum. If you're able to win all four,
okay.
it's very well. So 2.5 is the magic number. So two is a draw. 2.5 is the magic number that every team will try to reach. So in that, think of it if you're going to lose, you put pressure on rest of the players. So the rest of the teammates out of three, they have to score 2.5. Whereas your opponent's team, they just need 1.5 out of three. So certainly, every game is. So usually the strategy is if you don't win, it's fine. Just make sure you don't lose. That's that's the usual strategy.
For all the parents that are watching this right now, what should one do, for children, for their children to know about Chess Olympiad?
Yeah, definitely. So I think currently the best platform to learn about chess is HobSpace. So I think they have a lot of activity in their YouTube channel starting from July 25th onwards.
Oh,
They have the live streams. They have treasure hunt, quizzes, a lot of activities going on. I'm
right.
sure I'm going to be watching it every single day with my kids too. So I would suggest you guys to see that too.
Sir, Arun sir, I just want to play one rapid fire round with you. So the only rule is no thinking. The first thought that comes to your mind, you have to say. All right.
Sure, sure.
Right. So if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
See the future.
See the future. If you were not a chess coach and a chess player, what would you be?
Maybe a banker.
If you could go in the past and play chess with one of the players that we unfortunately don't have with us today, who would that be? And you have to name 3 players.
Without a doubt, it's Fisher, obviously. My favorite player, Fisher. And the second one would be someone like Mikhail Tal. So who was like super ever creative and
Yes.
something to see him play in action. And the final player, I think I would really like to see Capablanca in action. So he was like a creative genius. Like he's amazing.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Who has had the biggest influence on your life?
Well, I have to say my parents and my friends.
Who has had the biggest influence on your professional life?
Definitely my friends.
Chess life. What is your favorite street food?
Street food, samosas.
What is your favorite movie?
Any movie is my favorite movie. Movies are my favorite usually.
I see. So you're more of a movie person or a series person?
Definitely more of a movie person.
I see. All right, sir. So it was really amazing getting to know you on a personal level, and asking all these rapid fire questions to you just gave me an insight, and it was really amazing, all the knowledge that you gave us and all the information, all the advice to the parents, to our viewers. So I would like to thank you on behalf of everybody. So I'll take a leave now. On this note, I will leave, and let's see you on the HobSpace stream then.
Definitely. And thank you for having me here. I really enjoyed having this conversation with you, Gaurav. And I'll see you soon in the HobSpace stream soon. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.